Jack EW1US. Why did you block me on Twitter? Just for saying I'm not interested in David Pratton's opinion, open brackets, nothing offensive, because he hates Birmingham City. Well, this is an interesting question, isn't it? In terms of what it takes for you to block somebody on social media, and whether that's right or whether that's wrong. And we can all debate it. I can only explain from my side. Apologies, Jack. I can't remember your tweet or blocking you, but I've obviously done it, haven't I? So let me explain my rationale and see if it helps in any way. If we're coming from the kind of free speechy, free choicey, freedom of choice premise, which most people would agree with is a good thing, then I guess the start point has to be that anybody can say anything they like on social media. There could be a consequence for that, which means anybody else on there has the choice and the freedom to block people. So over the years, I've struggled with using social media. I've struggled with the abuse and the comments that I've got. And whether you think this is right or wrong, it's up to you. But this is just what I've had to do just as a system, just to make things nice and efficient. Because what I'm trying to avoid on social media is getting drawn into things happening that are toxic for me. And I know people will go, woo, 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 mental health or whatever, but use whatever language you're comfortable with. It is not a good situation to be arguing with someone for a sustained period of time. Well, in any situation, it's not really that good for you, I don't think, if it makes you stressed, which it does me, makes you anxious, you're worried about the next thing, makes you a bit angry, makes you a bit aggressive. I don't want to be doing that. So I am optimizing with my decisions for social media on I want the least stress possible so I can enjoy my life and, not let that drip into the real world, frankly, because it's not real, is it? Social media, it's interactions online. It's done, it's not a kind of face-to-face conversation between two human beings. What we've evolved for over, well, not millions of years in terms of talking and whatnot, but certainly hundreds and thousands of years. Whereas, how long are our brains been evolving to cope with social media? What, 10 years, I guess? And I don't think we are very good at it. So anyway, I'm getting to the point. My policy is pretty much zero tolerance. So again, I get some people will say, oh, go on, Ben, be more thick-skinned. What are you doing that for? And yeah, fine, I accept that argument. If you are more thick-skinned than me and stronger emotionally, mentally or whatever, and you can take abuse and argue back and it not affect you, or ignore it and it not affect you, then more power to you. I've always kind of gone by the philosophy of that you take control of a situation. So, and I know it's a little bit like a child, the only power you have is to refuse. Well, kind of on social media, it's the same. The only power you really have, if you're up, and I'm not suggesting this guy Jack is this person, by the way, I'll get onto his tweet in a minute, but if you're up against a troll who's determined and will stick at it, you're not going to win. There is nothing you can do, nothing you can say, and if you block them, it's all gone. It's all gone in a second. I mean, they might come at you on other social platforms, but they don't tend to, unless they're really, really obsessive people. But I don't tend to upset people that much that they want to go down kind of multiple routes. So whether you think it's right or wrong, my policy is if I get the slightest sniff you know, if I get that feeling in me of, oh God, why is this person being like this? Why are they speaking to me like this? What are they doing? Is this going to deteriorate into me answering this person, them, and it's not going to be positive? If I get the slightest sniff, it's mute or block. And I guess it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. And yeah, I mean, that is just the way I get. I get that people won't approve of that, but all I'll say is if you were me, you would do that. Because I know my situation, I know my strengths and weaknesses as a human being in terms of dealing with this stuff. And I also know my priorities. And I have had situations where I've been going back and forth with someone on social media, and my missus Shaylee has actually said to me, Ben, what are you doing on your phone? And I'm like, and then it's almost embarrassing to tell them, oh, I'm just in a conversation with someone. Oh, who's that? Oh, I don't know. What are you talking about? We're arguing. What are you arguing about? Parachute payments. So let me get this right. You're not present with me and you're a bit grumpy because you're having an argument with someone you don't know about money paid into football clubs or something. It's pretty damn ridiculous when you think about it like that. So what I'm trying to say with all of it is sometimes I might block somebody, and I mean, you can talk about the other side of how that might affect them. Personally, if somebody blocks me, I'm not really that bothered. It's social media, and I know rejection is never nice, but if they've blocked me, they don't want to hear from me. So fine, whatever. We'll kind of move on. But if I block somebody, and I'll get onto this guy Jack now. He says nothing offensive. I wouldn't block. My reasoning is if I feel something is toxic, having this person being able to have access to me and talk to me, if I feel it's toxic. So that doesn't mean the person's offensive. Doesn't mean that the person is a bad person. They've just said something which to me has raised the flag. And yeah, okay, the standard and the flag could be different depending on how much sleep I've had, how hungry I am. You know, I'm in a good mood or a bad mood or whatever. But I'm always just optimizing, as I say, to use a clangy, cringy word though, for a quiet, easy life. So, for example, what does he say He said, so he's replied to me on Twitter, said, I'm not interested in David Prattton's opinion because he hates Birmingham City. So I'm guessing this is after I did an interview with David Prattton. So I've probably read that and probably thought, what are we doing here? What good is that comment adding to the world? I've just sourced an interview with the face of football on Sky, somebody who I admire, who's in my kind of world studying the Championship, and I discussed this with David Prattton, has got like one of the best jobs you can possibly have, being the anchor of it. He was really, really giving with his time. When I met him at Wembley, he was absolutely lovely to me. So this is a guy I respect and I admire, and somebody who presumably doesn't know him has taken a pot shot. And also, I've put some work out, and I think we've had a great chat, me and David Prattton. And I try my best when I'm interviewing people to, you know, extract as much good stuff as I can. And I was kind of proud of what we did. So when you imagine it from the point of view of the creator, you've put a lot of effort into something, you've put it out, you like the person and the person's done you a favor by doing it, and you get, I'm not interested in David Prattton's opinion because he hates Birmingham City. Can you imagine that's a little bit like, really? You know, and if you're not interested in someone's opinion that's come up in your feed, I mean, maybe block me. other way around, or maybe don't reply. And it also comes back to something that really bugs me when football fans accuse pundits of hating their team. And it's actually really irritating to me, because I've now worked with a lot of football pundits, co-coms people, people who are on the telly in matches, people who do magazine shows on the telly. I've worked with lots of them. And I've heard every single one of them be accused by fans of multiple different clubs, 10, 20, 30. Poor old Don Goodman and Andy Hinchcliffe. Apparently they hate every single club. And if I can let you into a little secret, these pundits, it's almost like don't flatter yourself. They don't hate your club. And I hate to say it, the issue is with the fans of the club. They struggle to hear feedback about their club. And sometimes that feedback might be completely reasonable. Sometimes it might be critical, but reasonable. I'm sure there is the odd occasion where a pundit is critical and unreasonable of a club. But please believe me, if you watch it from the pundit side, which I've done, and I've been on the end of being accused of I hate a club. And it's like, no, I just don't. It's just not true. From the other side, the person saying that thing is only interested in the club and has only seen that from their side. And it's become a bit of a trigger to me when people say, oh, so-and-so pundit, he hates the team I support. I'm kind of like, nah, that's just nonsense. Not only does this pundit not hate your club, but that's kind of out in you as not being able to cope with someone, trying to give rational, reasonable opinions about your club. Don't be wrong. If you find me footage of a pundit saying, I hate so-and-so club, fine, okay, he's just admitted it. He hates the club. Or if someone tells me they hate a club, then I'll believe it. But if it's just based on feedback given on the telly. So, So I've got that tweet through, and I've obviously thought, oh, thanks a lot for you're not interested in my interview, and you've had a go at somebody who I admire, and you've also said something that is a bit of a red flag for me as to somebody I might not want to deal with in interactions. I've obviously just gone bang, 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 block. But what I will say, Jack, is if you think anything I've just said is unreasonable, leave another message on here on YouTube, and I will happily unblock you. And anyone I block, I don't think they're a bad person. I'm not automatically saying they're offensive. I've just taken a very quick, scorched earth, zero tolerance. It's probably going to be best if I take control of this and just get out of this. So that's what I've done. And I would actually be fascinated to know people's feedback on that. Again, that's what works for me. I have 50,000 subscribers on YouTube and 20,000 followers or whatever they're called on Twitter. And I get a lot of comments. So when you're giving me your feedback on that, and it doesn't matter, do what you need to. But if you've got 200 followers and I've got 70,000 or whatever, then just remember the apples to orange comparison with how many comments you might be getting and how much flack and how much nonsense you might be getting. And this is the thing, I don't want to not read these comments just because the odd person, might say something that triggers me into blocking them. So I want to read them, but unfortunately, sometimes some of the comments may be problematic for me. So look, I'm open-minded. That's my way of dealing with those things. And give me your thoughts in the comments. And Jack, if you want me to, I will happily unblock you if you don't think I'm a loser after saying that. And if you accept my explanation, fine, let's go. All is forgiven.